You can take a couple waves here. Roll forward into your high plank. Scoop the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Nice fluid rolling through the spine. One more like that. Rolling forward. Scooping and lifting back. And then we're ready for our lift. So right leg comes up. Very big reach through the toes, just like we use our fingers to make space through the arms. Reach with your toes. Find extra space in your leg. Start to bend that knee and bring it underneath. Really tuck and hover with that leg, and then step it forward. All right, here we are in our high lunge. Taking a breath there, maybe lengthening your stance and seeing if you can bring some more heaviness into the pelvis to get that space under the body. And we'll take an inhale. Windmill up and open. Warrior two. The body is really oriented toward that side line of your mat as best you can. You're trying to find an open experience from the pelvis. Very spacious through the arms. Use your breath to sink down into the legs. Feel that strength and support. Use your inhale to connect to that space across the arms and up through the spine. Okay. Start to draw your front leg straight, and we'll play around a little bit with this tip of the pelvis as we start to move toward triangle. And I'm going to slide my hand down the leg. Maybe you can put your hand on the floor or a block, or if your chair is there, that's a really nice support. Open up through the top arm. Create some strong intention through the top fingers. That very strong reach up toward the sky. And then see where your head feels comfortable. You can look down toward the floor or up toward your top hand. Just watch your balance. Even though this doesn't maybe look like a balance pose, there is quite a bit of balance happening front to back. We're going to drop that arm down. So bend into your front knee, and here's where our balance challenge is really coming in here. So I want you to conjure up as much patience and kindness for yourself as you can. This is always a challenge within our practice. And we're going to go into a half moon, which was a hard pose for me for many, many years. Okay, so I'm going to start to shift my weight onto the front foot. And my hand is about 6 to 8 inches in front of my toes. And I start to just float the back leg up and open. Now, if you are near your chair, maybe you want to use that for a higher support. The other option is to do this with your back against a wall. That was a very helpful way for me to learn this pose. Now, wherever you are, you can keep your hand on your hip, or you can open that top arm up and just feel all that wobbling happening in your ankle. That is your body adjusting and figuring out the challenge that is balancing. Very complex. And if you feel like this is really hard, which this is a challenging pose, be kind to yourself. If you have to come out and take a break, or if you fall out of the pose, you wobble a little bit too much and you have to put your foot down, no big deal. Yoga is not that serious. We can be playful and have fun with it. All right, good work. Drop your back foot down, windmill up and around, find your warrior two again. Settle. Feel the rooting down through the legs. After all that wobbling, we want to reconnect with stability. Feel the strength and support from the lower body. Slow your breathing down. And here, in our internal space, we have this opportunity to see how we relate to ourselves when we have a pose that's really challenging. The same thing happens in life when we have a life event that is really challenging. Can we be patient? Can we be kind to ourselves in the face of that challenge? Okay, windmill down. Frame your front foot. Take the right foot, step it back into downward dog. Noticing if downward dog feels different this time. Every time you take a pose, it has its own unique experience. Take an inhale, wave forward into your plank. Exhale, wave back. Lift the hips, feel that lightness up through the sitting bones. And then we'll come over to the other side. Lift your left leg. Lots of intention and reach into your toes. So the leg is as long as it can possibly get. Exhale, scoop the leg underneath your body and step it up. Okay, take a moment here in your high lunge to see if you want to wiggle the feet away from each other and create space. Feel the pull of gravity, settling the pelvis down. Okay, tip the back foot over, angle the toes out to the sides, and we windmill up and around to find warrior two on the other side. Space, opening up toward that side line of the mat. And here we know that half moon is coming. We know that we're moving toward a challenge. So this is our space to start to prepare ourselves, to draw deep and say, okay, I'm going to be patient and kind with myself as I move into this challenge. But first, triangle. We'll tip the pelvis over toward the side, find that big spacious shape with the body. Try to use your inhale to reach up even more through the top fingers. All right, drop the top arm. And let's prepare for that half moon, that quite challenging pose. I'm just going to scoot back a little bit. But you start to shift your weight onto your front foot. And I'll usually do that by hopping my back foot in a couple inches to kind of test it. We don't have to go all at once. Front hand finds its balancing point. Could be on the mat or a block or maybe a chair or any other cooperating piece of furniture. And it's similar to warrior two, where I'm trying to open up my body toward the sideline of the mat. Trying to open the top hip. If you feel like you want to extend the top arm, you can open that up as well. And then just embrace that challenge of the wobbling and the adjustments. If you have to take a break or you fall out of it, no big deal. Come right back in when you're ready. But use that as the opportunity to face challenge with kindness and patience. One more breath there. Okay, lowering out slowly, no rushing. You made it. Come back up to warrior two. Reconnect to your stability. Root the feet down into the earth. See if you can find some more downward movement through the pelvis. Sturdy, strong stance. Okay, very nice. Windmill the hands down to frame the left foot. And we'll step it back to downward dog. From your downward dog, going to step one foot and then the other foot up to the top of the mat. Find your forward fold. Use an exhale to soften your shoulders and your head down with gravity. Maybe shake your head yes and no to get that nice length through the neck. Anytime you find yourself tensing or even just putting too much effort into a shape, just kind of wiggle, create some freedom of movement. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves not to take ourselves too seriously. And then we'll start to take an inhale to roll up into standing. Unfold the arms, open up the palms, feel that space through the heart. Bring the hands behind the back. We're going to interlace the fingers or maybe hold on to your opposite wrist. Take your exhale, soften the knees and fold forward. Let the arms just fall behind you so that gravity is pulling them toward the floor. Sometimes it's nice here to rock from side to side. Let the arms shift left and right. Bending one knee and then the other. Come back towards center. Generous bend with the knees. Roll yourself up into standing. Release the arms. Take a full upward reach. Draw that down into your heart. Reconnect with that new pattern that we're strengthening. When we find ourselves facing challenge, we dig deep and find that source of patience and kindness within ourselves. The same way that we would give patience and kindness to a very dear friend when they are going through a challenge. Big inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. And then we'll take a little step back with one foot and then the other foot. Find your downward dog. Take an exhale to lower the knees down, and we'll find our child's pose. Lots of support from the mat. On your next inhale, come up about halfway. Ooh, it's getting windy. Come up about halfway, and we're going to take an inhale. Open the left arm, up and out. A little bit of rotation through the spine as we make our way down. Okay, we'll switch back and forth. Left hand comes onto the mat. Open the right arm back. And you can alternate side to side at whatever pace feels the best for you. And what I usually suggest is just doing a little bit of comparison between the sides. And if one side feels tighter, give that side a couple extra seconds or a couple extra breaths. That side is asking for a bit of extra attention. Okay, last twist here. You can walk yourself up into sitting, and we will swing the legs around, make our way down onto the mat. placing yourself carefully on the mat. Lots of care in this process of finding support, like you are taking care of yourself the same way that you would take care of a dear friend. And then we'll take any last movements that you feel like you need. If you want to sway the knees, or maybe stretch the arms up overhead, just see what is your body asking you for before you settle into stillness. When you're ready, make your way back into the middle. Start to think about how you would like to settle into your deep relaxation for just a few moments of stillness. And we have all of our usual options to stretch the legs out or keep the knees bent, but since I have my trusty chair, I'm going to show you one of my favorite positions to do deep relaxation. If you have a chair or a couch, or even a coffee table is very often what I will use for this. Putting your legs up on top of it, or even just a stack of pillows, whatever has some height to it will work. So this is just another option you can keep in mind when you do your deep relaxation. This might be a position that you find to be supportive and restful. Use your exhale to sink into your points of support and make that transition into your space of letting go of effort, just letting yourself be here without having to do anything. Bringing your attention back to your points of support. Thinking about your inhale, being able to expand and open away from that support. And movement slowly comes back into the body. We can wiggle fingers and toes. You can stretch in any direction that might feel good. And this is our opportunity to practice moving without rushing. Don't sprint toward the finish line. Take your time. Maybe rocking the body gently a couple times to soak in that feeling of relaxation in the nervous system. Noticing what that feels like. Okay, if you have your chair there, you can either push the chair away or wiggle your body back so you have some space, and we'll come up to sit. Pausing for a moment as you come to the end of your practice to notice deeply, how do I feel right now? What did this practice do for me today? And as you soak that information in, we will end with this reminder that when we come up to those challenges throughout the day, which always come up, we know they're there, our job is to dig down and try to find that source of patience and kindness that we can extend toward ourselves as we face that challenge. It gives yourself a little bit of help when you're facing something difficult. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice. I hope it was helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you for joining me in this video. If you would like more information on my classes, workshops, or working with me one-on-one, head over to my website, LauraGyoga.com. Make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel for more content like this, and check out these two videos next, which were picked out especially for you. I'll see you in the next one.